Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Monday Night Wars What If series in TEW 2020. I, of course, am CR Daredevil, bringing you all of the live action as we are on our second week, the very second ever Monday Nitro happening here tonight. And as we continue to build to Fall Brawl, we will have to see what happens as last week, of course, we had Team Sting getting being down before none other than Barry Windham made the save after he made his return from being gone for a little over a month from television. And so we'll have to see what all happens here tonight, along with all of the other storylines. Of course, last week we also saw the television return of Randy Savage, and it was announced on this past Saturday night that the main event of tonight's Nitro will be the tag team matchup of Bam Bam Bigelow and a partner of his choosing taking on Randy Savage and a partner of his choosing. So that should be a big time matchup happening here tonight on Nitro. But we will get into the action with a couple of pre-taped videos that open up Nitro. One video is Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader standing together, cutting a promo about the main event, as they are going to be the Bam Bam is going to be teaming up with Vader. It was kind of an obvious choice for him due to the two of them having kind of connected. I don't want to say connected, but kind of allied numerous times throughout the year, ever since Bam Bam has shown up in WCW, and kind of made sense for that. Meanwhile, Randy Savage is kind of looking around, he's kind of promo, kind of looking around a little bit, trying to figure out who his partner is going to be. He then decided that he was going to go at it by himself, when all of a sudden the Natural Dustin Rhodes came into view and said that he has no problem teaming up with Randy Savage here tonight. He has some issues with Vader from previous feud that they had on WCW television, and said that he would have no problem teaming up with Savage if Savage would take him as a tag partner tonight, and Savage agrees to it. So the main event of tonight's Monday Nitro will be Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader going at it with Randy Savage and Dustin Rhodes, which should be a really great matchup. We move on from that 72 rated segment to an extremely short matchup in which the Faces of Fear defeat the Armstrongs in 352 when Meng just basically destroys them. The Barbarian starts off the match and he beats up the Andersons for a little bit, and then Meng comes in and he just beats him up, and then that's it. Like, it's basically just a way to show off their dominance. That's all there really is to it. Meng, head and shoulders above everyone else in the match. Yeah, that's all there really was to it. This is basically just a squash match to help put the Faces of Fear over. After that match, we have the Horsemen having a promo about Fall Brawl. Ric Flair going completely nuts about the fact that Barry Windham, who he specifically says would be a nobody if it wasn't for the Horsemen, would dare turn his back on the offer that the Horsemen made over the summer, and how dare he, try to go up against the Horsemen, etc., etc. And he, is getting all worked up or whatever, and ends up incidentally challenging Sting and his allies to a War Games match at Fall Brawl. As it was kind of believed that there would be a War Games match at Fall Brawl, because there usually is every year, but there hadn't quite been the announcement of who was going to be in it yet, and Flair got so worked up and so angry about this whole situation that he challenged the four, of course, Sting, Lex Luger, Steve Austin, and Barry Windham, to meet the Horsemen inside War Games. And so the challenge has been thrown out there. The Horsemen or Ric Flair has thrown out the challenge, and we will have to see if the other side accepts it and leads to the match at War Games, or in War Games, that is, at Fall Brawl. So a pretty good segment there, 75 rating for that as well. We move on to what's supposed to be a matchup between Jim Duggan and John Tenta, but it never ends up happening, as they just end up brawling. The match, the bell doesn't even ring. They end up Tenta attacks Duggan during his entrance. They end up fighting for a while. Security comes down to try to break everything up, and that's kind of about it. They've been they had a little bit of a confrontation with each other on Saturday night, and so it was supposed to lead to a match here on Nitro, but the match ended up not happening, so we'll have to see what happens with that heading forward. After that, we have Harlem Heat with an interview, being interviewed by Gene Okerlund, talking about the status of the tag team division, talking about how they aren't worried about Ming and the Barbarian being entered into the tag team picture now. They're not worried about any other tag team because they are Harlem Heat, and they are going to, continue to stay on top of all that stuff. And during it gets announced by Gene Okerlund that next week on WCW Monday Nitro, there will be a 3-team matchup, a triangle tag team match, if you will, in which the winning team gets to challenge Harlem Heat for the WCW World Tag Team titles at Fall Brawl. The 3 teams, of course, will be none other than the Blue Bloods, the Faces of Fear, and the Steiner Brothers. So we will have to see which one of those 3 teams moves forward, picks up the victory in that match, moves forward to Fall Brawl to challenge for the WCW World Tag Team titles. After that, we have Cactus Jack defeating Paul Orndorff in 7:31 when Orndorff gets disqualified after Taskmaster ran in and attacked Cactus Jack. 76 rating for the match. The two have great chemistry with each other. That's pretty good. Pretty cool. And Paul Orndorff is actually not too bad in the ring still right now. This is my first time. I didn't use him on Saturday night in the ring, so this is the first time I used him in this save over in the ring. He's actually still not too bad at this point, so I might still be able to get some work out of him. But nevertheless, Cactus Jack getting the victory by disqualification, thanks to the Taskmaster running in and attacking him. 76 rating for the match is good stuff there. After the match, Cactus manages to fight back against the Taskmaster, only to be attacked by this huge, mysterious man from behind. And the commentators are going crazy because is this the man? Is that the man set on destruction? Is that the man that Taskmaster has been talking about? It's Shivani, Heenan, and Dusty Rhodes on commentary, so they're going all sorts of nuts with each other about that. But so this mystery huge man has appeared out of nowhere and attacks the Cactus Jack and ends up chokeslamming him. It's this huge 7-foot tall man that we'll have to see if we can get more information on, but looks like Cactus might be in some trouble. And then after that, we get an interview with Team Sting, as they are apparently being called now. Of course, Sting, Steve Austin, Luger, and Barry Windham. And they Sting ends up accepting the challenge. So at Fall Brawl, it will be the 4 Horsemen versus Sting, Steve Austin, Lex Luger, and Barry Windham inside War Games. That's going to be crazy. Crazy for sure. 78 rating for this segment here, as the 4 of them kind of hype up their issues. Barry Windham doesn't really talk much, actually. He doesn't really reveal why he refused the invitation of the Horsemen. He just kind of says that he made a career on his own. He didn't need the Horsemen to make his career, and that at War Games he'll show Ric Flair just what kind of a career he has, basically. So kind of a little bit of a not really explaining why he is taking sides with Sting and all that, but we'll have to see in the coming weeks what ends up happening. Nevertheless, babyfaces get the crowd all fired up as we head into that War Games match at Fall Brawl now. That's here in the next couple weeks. And then after that, in our main event of the evening, Vader and Bam Bam defeat Dustin Rhodes and Randy Savage in 11:30 when Bam Bam pins Dustin Rhodes. So Bam Bam doesn't get the victory on Savage. Kind of near the end of the match, Savage ended up going out and having a bit of a fight with Bam Bam on the outside. Vader took the opportunity to lay out Dustin Rhodes when he wasn't paying attention, as Dustin Rhodes was still the legal man. And then Vader went outside, and Vader and Bam Bam kind of hit a double team power bomb on Savage. And then Bam Bam came back in the ring, picked up Dustin Rhodes, hit a power slam, or the greens, not the power slam, sorry, the greens from Asbury Park, as it's better known as, and picked up the victory. So Bam Bam and Vader getting the victory in the main event of Nitro this week. 77 rated matchup. Good stuff there. Bam Bam and Vader, great chemistry when teaming together, and so forth. So there you go. That is the end of Nitro. It ends with the heels standing tall, but sometimes that has to happen on TV. We'll have to see what that means heading forward, whether Randy Savage can get any momentum back, whether this leads to a one-on-one matchup or a tag team matchup at Fall Brawl. Nothing's really been announced for that. At this point, we are on the second week of September. Fall Brawl is not next week, but the week after that. Technically, it's 13 days after this Nitro, and all we have announced so far is the War Games match, and then the tag team titles match as well. The tag titles on the line against whoever wins next week. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with the pay-per-view. But that is going to do it for us today. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys all next time.